Good morning. We're at Caldwell headquarters at the Caldwell Training Center located in Beloit, Wisconsin. I'm Dale Kelley, your Caldwell training specialist. I remember as a young engineer when I started working for the company, there were many clamps that I had to learn and know about. One of the things that I was impressed with when I was under my current and former boss was how the clamps looked like they lifted heavy plates with very ease. One day we were standing in the plant and I saw a plate flying through the air with the tiniest little clamp attached to it. And I looked at my boss and I said, that looks like a magic carpet flying. So after many discussions, he and I decided that there was a good acronym that came up for that, and it was called MAJEC. MAJEC stands for Material, Attitude, Jaw Opening, Environment, and Conformation. These are the important points that a customer needs to know in order to lift a plate properly. Let's start with the M, which stands for material. The material is metal, and if the hardness of the metal is above 300, the clamp you want to use would be the non-marring, for example. If it's below 300, you want to use a clamp that has teeth to engage the metal. If you use a clamp that's too big for the job, in the case of this JPA here, it might not work as well as a clamp that's chosen to match the size of your plate. And finally, if the teeth are dull on any of these, with the exception of the non-marring, of course, the teeth won't engage the plate and you could risk disengagement. The next letter of MAJEC, the A, stands for attitudinal lift. Clamps are defined by the application in which they are to be used. For instance, you have your vertical series, you have your vertical plus 90 series, the vertical plus 180 series, horizontal, and structural. Let's start with the vertical only lift. A good clamp to choose for that application is the Model FR. I happen to have one right here. The customer would perform his initial inspections, turn the pin, make sure it's not bent, check his teeth for no cracks, no chips. Make sure the clamp functions properly by sliding it in and out, looking for dents and dings on the interior surface. Making sure his labels are properly identifying the clamp for the right application. He would also predetermine the weight of his plate so that he knows that the working load limit of his clamp is correct for this application. After doing his initial inspection, he would assemble the clamp as such. Open the jaws, put it on at approximately a 20-degree angle, lock it down, turn it straight, and then apply the lift. Straight up, straight down, as the name implies, for a vertical only lift. After he's done with his lift and everything's safe and secure, he unlocks the clamp, performs a post-lift inspection, the same as his pre-lift. The next clamp I'd like to demonstrate is our Model TL. This is a vertical plus 90. After resetting our plate, I'd like to demonstrate the use of this clamp. Same application applies, same inspection technique applies. You would apply the clamp to the plate and then hook up the hoist and turn vertical plus 90 degrees and back in the same direction. The next clamp I'd like to demonstrate is our Model SCP-A. This is also a turning clamp rated for 180 degrees. The only difference being that instead of using a locking lever, it uses a screw lock. It is not recommended to use two clamps on opposing sides where the yoke is pulling towards the center. This could damage the clamp and it's not rated for that. You attach the clamp as shown by applying a 20-degree angle. Tighten your clamp, hand tight, and then quarter turn. Once the clamp is hand tight, then you can proceed with your lift by attaching your hoist and performing your lift as such. The last clamp I'd like to demonstrate is our horizontal clamp. This clamp is used for lifting plates in a horizontal position, horizontally, up and straight down. Due to the straight shackle, you can't side load this clamp. It's also not recommended to lift plates that are not self-supporting. It's required to use 2 clamps per lift. You can use it in 3s or in multiple pairs. You want to attach your clamp to your plate and then attach your rigging to the cam jaw. As indicated, this clamp would be used in pairs, so you would attach another clamp on the opposite side directly opposed from this clamp and attach the second leg of the rigging and perform the lift as indicated. Our customers require a clamp to work in these situations. Choosing the right clamp is an important part of the clamp selection. The next letter of MAJEC, J, stands for the jaw opening. This is the thickness of the plate that's recommended to be used with that clamp. Each clamp has an identification tag on it that lists this application. Follow the guidelines listed on the clamp for the thickness of the plate as to not damage the clamp. The E of MAJEC stands for the environment the clamp's going to be used in. Environments such as sand, chemical, hot, or cold can affect the usability of the clamp. Check with Caldwell to ensure that the environment that your clamp is going to be used in is suitable for the application. The C of MAJEC stands for confirmation. Read the manual, perform the inspections, and verify the size of the clamp. And finally, check the witness marks. After putting on your PPE, you want to take your clamp and proceed over to your lift area. The hardness of the plate affects the ability of the clamp to do its job. You're going to apply the clamp to your plate. You want to center your hoist over the clamp, lower the hoist, and attach your hook to the clamp. Clear the area and proceed with a slight lift, just barely lifting the plate off the floor. You want to put just enough load to the clamp so that the plate is suspended, but no higher than necessary. And then lower your plate back to the stand. You're going to remove your plate from the clamp. Then you want to inspect your witness mark. At this time, you'll be looking for any indications where the teeth have penetrated the steel. I like to remove my gloves at this point and use my fingernail and check for an indentation. If I can feel the indentation with my fingernail, I know that the plate hardness and the clamp and the teeth are compatible, and I can use this clamp to perform a lift safely. As you recall, MAJEC stands for material, attitude, jaw opening, environment, and confirmation. If you have any questions, please visit us at caldwellinc.com or give us a call.